Here we go. Ferrari is ready to challenge McLaren and Red Bull in round number 21 of the 2024 Formula One Championship. It is set to be an exciting battle at the 4.309-kilometer Autodromo José Carlos Pace in Brazil, as the field is quite close and the short Brazilian track further narrows the gap between competitors. The Interlagos track is quite complex, with a winding layout and varying elevations. The second sector is particularly interesting, featuring several challenging corners that must be handled precisely throughout the lap. Finding the right balance between this section and the third, where speeds are very high, won't be easy. Not to mention Sector 1, which includes tricky corners like the Senna S. A crucial factor to consider is the fifth sprint race of the 2024 Formula One season. In the single hour of free practice, each team must skillfully fine-tune the setup of their F1 car, optimized through the simulator that uses driver-in-the-loop software. We are therefore in for yet another thrilling weekend. Ferrari is therefore not bringing any new updates to Brazil. The SF-24 will only undergo adjustments tailored to the characteristics of the Interlagos track. The circuit, located just outside São Paulo, requires moderate aerodynamic load, and due to its configuration, featuring 4 fast sections interspersed with 2 very slow ones, demands a balance of aerodynamic efficiency and downforce. According to reports, the Scuderia will introduce some updates between Austin and Las Vegas. Rumor had it that the new floor would debut in Qatar, though it seems more likely we'll see it showcased on the city circuit of Nevada's capital. After their recent successes in the United States and Mexico, Ferrari hopes to continue their positive momentum, showing they can compete with McLaren as well. The Scuderia is thus retaining the Austin configuration, with adjustments for the Carlos Pace track. The rear wing has a nearly flat main profile with a subtle spoon shape in the center, paired with a rather loaded adjustable flap, topped by a nolder at the trailing edge. Moreover, the 2 lateral supports of the movable element have a considerable surface area, although they are not as squared off as they were in Mexico City, where adjustments were required due to the air density being 30% lower at an altitude of over 2,200 meters. In short, at the Interlagos circuit in São Paulo, Scuderia Ferrari is aiming for a good compromise, which could be a key factor in achieving another positive result in this final part of the championship. Notably, the 2-element beam wing uses a lower load-bearing element that functions as a logical continuation of the rear diffuser, while the upper element has an almost flat design with a gradual tapering toward the side end plate. The Brazilian circuit, too, is not at sea level, being situated at 786 meters in altitude with significant elevation changes, featuring a vertical difference of 40 meters. However, the lower air density is only 17% reduced, so reliability issues for the mechanical components are not anticipated. As always, we will analyze the aerodynamic configurations chosen by the top teams. We are referring to the package each F1 team brings to the track to adapt their car to the course, in this case near São Paulo. The Brazilian track, which has hosted the top category of motorsport since 1974, is 4.309 kilometers long, and the lap record is 1 minute, 10.540 seconds, set by Finland's Valtteri Bottas in a Mercedes W09. Without further ado, let's look at the F1 cars competing at the top. The main point of interest for us is, of course, Ferrari, and we can notice that the Maranello team chooses its setup for the Interlagos weekend following the most rewarding technical path. For many, Ferrari remains the favorite in Brazil, although on paper this is not the case, and it remains to be seen if such a scenario will be confirmed on the track. The prancing horse has made a choice similar to Red Bull's. According to simulations done by the Maranello technicians and engineers, adopting a medium-high downforce wing, similar to the one seen at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona and at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City, was the best choice, especially after the recent feedback from last weekend's race. The setup of the SF-24 has been tailored specifically to maximize the car's top speed, a parameter to which engineers often dedicate great attention in setup, to the point that it has become a strong point for Ferrari. The expectation is to achieve good handling in the driven sections, where aerodynamic effectiveness plays a crucial role. It remains to be seen what compromise will be adopted in terms of suspension and roll resistance to optimize the overall balance of the SF-24. In any case, choosing medium-high downforce marks a difference from Mexico City, where the historic Italian team chose a lower downforce approach. Now let's move on to Red Bull. The Milton Keynes team has opted for a high downforce wing, similar to the one used last year. This specification is designed to maximize areas of aerodynamic load without sacrificing overall vehicle efficiency. The goal is to balance grip in tighter corners with strong straight-line performance. In 2023, the RB19 tended to slow slightly on high-speed sections, though it maintained a solid advantage in the driven sections where aerodynamics are key. The current setup aims to maintain this characteristic, allowing for a good balance between cornering performance and top speed. In general, the world champion team opts for slightly more rear load, intending to keep the rear stable during corner entry. We know the Red Bull RB20 has shown several issues with its fine-tuning. Although its aerodynamic efficiency might be somewhat less effective, Red Bull chooses this route because with greater vertical load, the car performs significantly better. Mercedes, on the other hand, is aiming for the spoon wing, characterized by a pronounced leading edge and a reduced frontal area. This design is intended to generate slightly less downforce than its competitors, with the goal of improving top speed. For Mercedes, improving top speeds is a clear priority, considering that the team led by Toto Wolff struggled with this aspect in the Brazilian Grand Prix last season. The configuration should allow them to better handle long straights, relying on an aerodynamic profile optimized to reduce drag. Now let's also take a look at our rivals for the Constructors' Champions. McLaren is wary of Ferrari. The Woking team is fully aware of Ferrari's recent form, with the Scuderia winning the last two races convincingly, recovering 46 points in the Constructors' Championship, and narrowing McLaren's lead to just 29 points with 4 races remaining. All of this emphasizes that McLaren is now recognized as a universal car, capable of adapting to any type of track. Andrea Stella's technical team decided to introduce updates only when confident that they would not disturb the balance of the MCL38. Lando Norris in the United States Grand Prix at the Austin circuit and in Mexico City benefited from a new floor, which will also be available to Oscar Piastri at Interlagos. However, as in Austin, where only one free practice session was allowed due to the sprint format, they are once again implementing a significant update on the Carlos Pace circuit, with only an hour to dial in the best setup before heading into sprint qualifying. McLaren has introduced a new medium downforce rear wing specifically for the São Paulo race weekend in Brazil, but this development could also serve as a foundation for future designs in the next Formula One season. The innovative solution features a main profile with a pronounced spoon shape in the central area and a leading edge that rises towards the side plates, aiming to reduce drag and promote strong top speeds. This rather bold choice pairs with a mobile flap designed to ensure downforce. This element has a long cord, foregoing the knolled seen on Ferrari's wing, and a thoughtfully contoured design rather than a flat shape.